Hello, in world news today, the United States has once again threatened to bomb Iran. In response, Iran has stood firm and made it clear that the Iranian nation will not be intimidated by such tactics. U.S. President Donald Trump is trying to pressure Iran into negotiations, but he is also not ready to lift the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. In such a situation, Iran has tightened its stance on Hormuz. The Iranian military, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, has implemented new rules and regulations for ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz. They say that the strait has returned to its previous condition. Meanwhile, Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf mocked Trump's statements and called all 7 of his claims false. He said that Trump cannot win wars based on lies. At the same time, there is also big news regarding a new round of talks between the two countries. But the question remains, will the two nations be able to reach a lasting peace agreement? We will discuss this in detail. But first, let's take a look at other headlines. In Britain, ahead of local elections, Prime Minister Keir Starmer is under pressure to resign. Pressure is increasing over the Mandelson investigation. The Prime Minister will present facts in Parliament in his defense. The U.S. Army has withdrawn from Syria after 12 years, with soldiers returning to Jordan. This is seen as a setback for the Druze community. The government says there will now be a single administration in the country. In Myanmar, new President Min Aung Hlaing has taken a major decision. The sentence of former leader Aung San Suu Kyi has been reduced. Former President Win has been released. And finally, we will see a mysterious organism frozen in Siberia for 24,000 years that scientists have revived. Now, the headlines in detail. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged his party to win the midterm elections and highlighted the success of his government's economic and foreign policies. Fierce clashes between the Pakistani army and Baloch insurgents have taken place in several areas, with hundreds of civilians affected. Israel has said operations against Hezbollah will continue despite the ceasefire in Lebanon. Pakistan, struggling with economic crisis, has received relief as the IMF approved a $1.2 billion bailout, and Saudi Arabia increased its deposit by $3 billion. Now, coming back to the main story, the U.S. and Iran are reportedly ready for a new round of talks. According to American media outlet CNN, citing an Iranian official, talks are expected on April 20th in Pakistan, similar to the previous round. However, there has been no official confirmation from U.S. authorities. President Donald Trump continues to claim that an agreement will happen soon and has credited himself with ending multiple wars. Trump claimed that Iran's nuclear material will come under U.S. control and referred to a white powder-like substance allegedly created by American B-2 bombers. He also said Iran would never possess nuclear weapons and is now removing naval mines with U.S. assistance. According to him, the Strait of Hormuz is open, but the U.S. naval blockade will continue until a complete agreement is signed. Trump made multiple claims, suggesting that the U.S. has already won over Iran. However, Iran strongly rejected these statements. Iranian Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf stated that Trump made 7 claims in 1 hour, and all of them were false. He wrote that Trump could neither win the war with lies nor achieve results through negotiations. He added that if the blockade continues, the Strait of Hormuz cannot be considered open, and ship movement will only occur under Iranian permission and designated routes. The status of the strait will depend on ground realities, not social media narratives. He emphasized that media warfare and influencing public opinion are part of modern conflict, but the Iranian nation will not be affected by such tactics. Recently, after a ceasefire in Lebanon, Iran had announced opening Hormuz temporarily. However, after the U.S. refused to lift the blockade, Iran hardened its stance. Now the question is whether both countries can reach an agreement under these conditions. Protests have also emerged in Iran, where women in Tehran participated in a rally called Devoted Daughters of Iran. They stated that the U.S. cannot be trusted and warned against compromising national sovereignty. Trump's frustration is also visible in his statements. He warned that if no agreement is reached by Wednesday, the U.S. could resume bombing. He said the U.S. would obtain Iran's enriched uranium by any means necessary, through negotiation or force. The current ceasefire, which ends on April 22nd, could either be extended or terminated. Now turning to Britain, despite global tensions, the Epstein Files controversy continues to shake UK politics. Prime Minister Keir Starmer is facing increasing pressure. Several high-profile names, including Prince Andrew and diplomat Peter Mandelson, were linked to the case. Mandelson resigned from positions, but the controversy continues. A report by The Guardian revealed that proper security clearance was not completed before Mandelson's appointment. Starmer denied wrongdoing and said he was not informed of any security failures, promising full transparency in Parliament. However, opposition leaders have called his claims absurd, and even his own party is divided. With local elections scheduled for May 7, this controversy may impact the ruling Labour Party. Now to Syria. After years of conflict under Bashar al-Assad, the situation changed in December 2024 when rebel groups led by HTS overthrew his government. Now, after 12 years, the U.S. has withdrawn all its troops from Syria. Bases in Hasaka, Ermelan, and Deir ez-Zor have been vacated, and around 2,000 troops are moving to Jordan. This move is seen as a setback for the Druze community, who had relied on U.S. protection. However, it is also considered a step toward unifying Syria. Kurdish fighters are being integrated into the national army, and government control is expanding. Now to Myanmar. The country has been in turmoil since the 2021 coup. New President Min Aung Hlaing has commuted all death sentences to life imprisonment, benefiting over 4,300 prisoners. Former President Win Myint has been released, while Aung San Suu Kyi's sentence has been reduced, though she remains in prison. Myanmar remains in civil conflict, with only about 20% of the country under government control. The legitimacy of the new government is still questioned. Finally, an astonishing scientific discovery. In Siberia, a microscopic organism called a rotifer, frozen for about 24,000 years, has been revived. Scientists found it deep in permafrost. Through a process called cryptobiosis, the organism had completely halted its metabolism. No eating, breathing, or movement. Once thawed in the lab, it came back to life and even began reproducing through cloning. This discovery suggests that life can survive extreme conditions and may have future applications in organ preservation or long-duration space travel. That's all for today's world news. Stay tuned for more updates from around the world. Goodbye.